Hi and welcome all, high or low, butcher baker, tall or small. I am Grimnir and this is the Grimnir Gate. There has not been many inns or taverns on the road from the last bridge, so this will have to do for now. The Hall of Fire in the last homely house, with Lord Elrond as a host. Not too shabby. After a long week of hardship and road dust, we all want to sit down among friends and share a tale or two with the refreshing beverage close at hand. So let's do that. Raise our horns and stick it to the man. Welcome to this week's Tavern Talk. Our dwarven fellows have travelled through the Trollshaws to get to Rivendell and the last homely house, so it seems fitting to tell a tale about these regions' most famous and feared inhabitants, the Trolls. The region itself is located between the rivers Horwell with the last bridge and the river Bruinen, where Frodo got away from the Nazgûl. Even if our two heroes so far haven't seen much of them, we all know that there is quite a bunch of trolls living in these woodlands. They seem to have wandered down from the mountains, and especially a place called the Ettenmoors, which is a highland region infested with trolls, north of Rivendell on the border to Angmar and Rudaur, with the misty mountains to the east. The trolls came especially after the fall of Arnor, when those parts became Rudaur, and later got invaded by Angmar. It is also known as the Trollfells, and this is where the Witch King fled after the defeat at Fornost, when he was beaten by Arnor on the battlefield. Somewhere in the Ettenmoors, Aragorn's grandfather, Arador, met his fate when he was slain by trolls on the Cold Fells. That is most probably a part of the Ettenmoors. As with much of Tolkien's work, the trolls are inspired by Old Norse mythology and folklore in general. They are big, strong, and often not too bright. How the Middle-earth trolls came into existence from the beginning is shrouded in a veil of mystery and uncertainty, but some way and somehow Melkor had something to do with it. And most probably Sauron built on whatever his former master had begun, even though the great and very old Treebeard, or Fangorn, has his own opinion quite clear.
Well, we could, You do not know, perhaps, how strong we are. Maybe you have heard of trolls? They are mighty strong, but trolls are only counterfeits made by the enemy in the great darkness, in mockery of Ents, as orcs were of elves.
Are they simple dumb beasts twisted under the Dark Lord and his will, and given some abilities and an aptitude for evil? Or are they tortured elves or even tortured Ents? The theories are many, and not even Tolkien himself or his son Christopher seem to have the final answer. The only thing that is certain is that Melkor, or Morgoth, was not the creator of trolls, because the only one with the power to give life, thought and will was Eru Ilúvatar himself, through the secret fire. However, the first trolls appear in the fifth and final battle of the First Age, as guards to the fearsome Gothmog, the mightiest among the Balrogs. In this battle, the trolls helped the enemy to bring down the greatest warrior among men, Húrin Talion, as their caustic blood withered down his axe, and he was eventually overwhelmed by orcs and brought to Angband alive, as Morgoth had demanded. When it comes to famous trolls, William, or Bill, Bert and Tom from The Hobbit is without a doubt the ones we know best, and the only named trolls in Tolkien's books. They are of a breed called stone trolls, and not very bright or well behaved, and always hungry, it seems. William turned around at once and grabbed Bilbo by the neck before he could duck behind the tree.
"Blimey, Bert, look what I've copped," said William.
"What is it?"
said the others, coming up. "Lummy if I knows. What are yer?"
"Bilbo Baggins, a burr hobbit," said poor Bilbo, shaking all over and wondering how to make owl noises before they throttled him.
"A burrow hobbit,"
said they, a bit startled. Trolls are slow in the uptake and mighty suspicious about anything new to them.
"What's a burrow hobbit got to do with my pocket anyways?" said William. "And can yer cook them?" said Tom. "Yer can try," said Bert, picking up a skewer.
"He wouldn't make above a mouthful," said William, who had already ate a fine supper.
"Not when he was skinned and boned."
Yeah, quite terrible figures, especially to a little hobbit, but not totally without personality. Even turned to stone, they are still scary and impressing apparitions, even if Master Bloodbow took the edge of it, using them as a breakfast table. They are classic stone trolls that can't stand the sunlight, and probably, according to some, they came from stone in the first place. There are, of course, other kinds of trolls too, like the brutal but more beast-like cave troll described in Moria, with a dark skin of greenish scales and a foot flat and toeless. Boromir's sword just bounces off its arm, and it takes a dagger of Westerners to hurt it at all. Most of the trolls in Middle-earth is focused on raw strength and brutality, and not great thinkers, like the ones carrying the battle ram Grond in front of Minas Tirith. But Sauron has of course learned from his master, and in the Third Age he comes up with a new terrible breed of trolls called Olog-hai. Like Uruk-hai means orc folk, Olog-hai means troll folk, and like with the Uruk, this breed of troll is much more cunning and dangerous, and they can handle daylight quite well. Olog-hai they were called in the Black Speech. That Sauron bred them none doubted, though from what stock was not known. Trolls they were, but filled with their evil will of their master. A fell race, strong, agile, fierce and cunning, but harder than stone. Unlike the older race of the Twilight, they could endure the sun, so long as the will of Sauron held sway over them. They spoke little, and the only tongue that they knew was the Black Speech of Barad-dûr. Well, the ending there became all dark and dreary all of a sudden. I think we better share it up with a joke, don't you guys? Any contributions? Okay. You have made up your own troll joke here, Bowmaster Nergrim. Okay, I'm ready. The two sons of Elrond were out on an adventure when they got captured by trolls and taken to their underground lair. The trolls' chieftain, Mighty Bert, told Eladan and Elrahir that if the two fought each other without killing one another, they would both be let go. However, this would come at a price. If Eladan lost, he would have his hands cut off, while if Elrahir lost, he would lose his feet and have them cut off, and the winner would have to be the one that cut them off. After a fierce fight, well, as fierce as elves can fight, Eladan was the winner, and the two were let go. But Elrahir was understandably quite enraged, for Eladan had defeated him. Took a while there, Captain. Well, thank you, Bowmaster Nergrim. It was a pleasure. And that's all for today. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.